Okay, we are live again for Survivor Washington Out of Orting episode 8. I am currently on the roof of a building in my university, so I apologize for any technical difficulties. I do not currently have headphones on me. So this is
useless. What are you doing?
Technologically, a very hard setup we've got here. With me, as always, is the nameless Marissa Allen. And today, the boot that rocked the world in shock and amazement, our resident idled out votes of the minority contestant, Stefan Van Sant. How are you?
All right. Cheers, everybody. And why aren't you guys clapping for me like everybody clapped for me when I left? I mean, come on.
The standing ovation.
I figured what's done is done. Like, can't upstage that. Look, there's only one person around here who can do a proper reenactment, and that's you. So
yeah. Oh my gosh. That was hysterical. I loved that was in there. It's one of my favorite
planning
moments.
a Survivor Washington Orting musical in which Stefan plays every contestant.
Oh, and I
feel like Stefan would go see that.
And I'm gonna get some acting lessons like you guys suggested, and
evidently Heather can provide some.
Yeah, she's great. It was so fun watching all of that. Like, I didn't realize like how bad it was, but yeah, like once you guys started talking about it, I was like, oh shit, that's really bad.
Wait, you're saying you didn't realize it while you're out there? No, you're saying you didn't realize it when you watched it back?
No. I said like when I watched it back, I was like, oh shit, I was really laying it on thick. Like, that was OTT. And I didn't realize that. I thought like when I was sitting there, I was just like, yeah, this is, oh man, I'm blindsiding Wes. This is great. But no, I can't believe I didn't get voted out in that tribal council based on my acting.
Can you believe that? Even if you were voted out then, so that was the only other time that you would have had a potential to be voted. You were in danger of being voted out, and even then you would have been voted out because of idols being played.
Idols. Yeah, that I was in deep shit in that vote. Like, I was just a hair away from going home, and I was scared. Like, and that was a crazy round for sure.
Okay, so Stefan, you were one of the first accepted contestants that we had in the very first wave. When did you apply for Survivor Washington?
Let's see. I joined, guys, going back to like when I joined ATF, like the patron group. I was one of the first patrons, and then that was like it's been over a year now, and then like we became friends because like the patrons were doing like Google Hangs all the time, and like we crossed paths at one point. And then we became friends, and then you were producing this show, and I applied because
and of course you're
like
watching
November, December,
well, maybe. I think even earlier. This might have been November, actually. Yeah. Yes. This is about November because
gotta get in early. You're like the kid who sits outside of like Best Buy like 6 days before Thanksgiving, skips Thanksgiving because you gotta get those Black Friday deals.
You know what? I wish I could be that person, but I've never been to a Black Friday deal because like I don't want to camp out with all those like people outside. What the fuck?
I mean, that's essentially what you did in Hunter's backyard.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, way to bring it around, Marissa. I love it. No, it's like I'm an early riser for sure. So yeah, I'm like on top of it. I'm a busy bee.
So
it seems like it'd be your cup of tea.
Black Friday?
Yeah.
I guess so. Maybe I'll give it a try this year.
You got to try it out.
Okay.
New beginnings. You'll find an addiction to it. I would like to know that we didn't coordinate shirts.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But
I know.
All three of us are wearing... Stefan and I are pretty much wearing the same shirt. And Marissa has a similar color. We're all Wilkeson blue.
This is the closest Hunter's ever gotten to getting me to take my top off.
Oh, man. It's a Saturday night, so this is a hot cast.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Yes, it's a Saturday night, and I'm here for my second night in a row. Clearly, I live a wild and crazy lifestyle.
Same here. Parties in the background, I'm sure. At some point during this interview, they'll get loud enough at some point. I'll have to lean over the edge.
It will probably be the dog, but we'll see.
Okay, so Stefan, was there any doubt in your mind that you were not going to be cast for Survivor Washington, or was there ever any thought in your mind that you were not going to be cast for Survivor Washington?
Well, anytime I'm a musician, and I've auditioned for a million things, and it's like I never assume I'm going to get anything. Like I just apply and I do the best I can, and I detach myself from results. So, I mean, I had a good feeling because I think I think I have a lot to offer. So I guess like I felt like I had a good chance, but you never know. So
you get the acceptance letter.
Honestly, Hunter, I like to see the people you turned away.
We should do a mass review of all the people that were rejected.
I would love that.
There are a couple people that have been rejected, like I think 3 times now, because they applied for something. They applied for original Orting and applied for this Orting.
Wait, there was an original Orting?
There's an original too, which Emma and Setu were both cast on, and then we had to cancel it 2 weeks before.
Oh my god.
Survivor
Zero.
You get the acceptance letter. Is there any like...
Wait, you sent out acceptance letters like this is goddamn college?
Yeah, I got an acceptance letter.
Like in the mail?
Oh, yeah. No, not just an email.
A golden ticket.
Willy Wonka style? Yeah.
Here's your buff.
Yeah. That'd actually be pretty clever. It'd be like Big Brother with the keys.
That would be expensive, right? For you to like go across Washington and film us getting our buffs, right?
Yeah, that would be expensive, but it'd be worth.
That'd be funny.
So you get your acceptance letter. Congratulations, you're on Survivor Washington. Excited? What's going through your head?
Well, I just finished school, or I finished school in May, and I usually perform at music festivals over the summer, but I wanted to.
Like, I'm sorry, are you over there playing clarinet at Coachella? Are you at Lollapalooza just?
I wish. Aspen. Is that good? Aspen's good. It's beautiful.
Aspen?
Yeah.
Aspen has not been relevant since Dumb and Dumber came out.
I love that movie. Oh my god. But yeah, there's an Aspen Music Festival. I performed there a few times, and I performed in music festivals. And
is it like just you, like some Kenny G shit? Like
no, like with full orchestras. So it's like.
You understand my background with the clarinet. I was kicked out of the clarinet section myself.
Right. You're a former clarinet player.
Sounds like the background of most of Connor's confessionals right now. Sorry, I apologize for that.
Yeah. Oh no, I got kicked out of the clarinet section. I had the headgear and I kept breaking the reeds. So I was like, I gotta get it the fuck out of here. They're like, you need to play something else. You're too small to hold the tuba. You got a teardrop lip. You can't play the flute. Here's a drum set. Figure it out. You've got ADDs. Perfect for you.
Excuse me.
So you became a percussionist then?
I did. I was in the drum line.
That's badass. You probably have great rhythm.
No. You should see me dance. It's great. It's a lot of this.
Sorry, I'm just pulling up the chat right now.
Oh yeah, I haven't done that. Where's that link at?
That link has been tweeted out, and it is in the alumni group.
I can
look, sir. I'm not in the alumni group. I'm not that cool.
Are you not?
What? Why would I be in the alumni group?
Because I'll add you. So plug for the Patreon. If you become a patron of Survivor Washington, you need access to the alumni group. Okay, so let's get back to Stefan because.
Oh yeah, Stefan's here.
Yeah.
This is not about me.
So, we're talking about Survivor on a Saturday night.
So you do music over the summer. You do concerts.
Yeah. So I wanted to take a summer off, and
How many years have you been doing? Have you been doing these concerts?
I've been going to music festivals since 2007.
Oh wow!
Like every summer. Like I've been to music festivals in Europe, Texas, in particular.
I feel like we can't call them music festivals. Maybe like concert series. I
mean, they're
orchestra plays.
Orchestra.
But I feel like this is not Coachella. It's not Lollapalooza. Let's call it Duck a Duck.
It's definitely not Coachella or Lollapalooza or Fyre
Yeah,
Fest.
if the Kardashians aren't interested.
I wish the Kardashians would show up and listen to clarinet playing. I mean, there are a lot of old people go to orchestra concerts, so we can be real about that. That's where all the money comes from. So I've been going to these every summer, performing with orchestras like in Europe, all over the United States. And so I wanted to take a summer off, and I've been watching Survivor since, I'm older. I'm 32. So I was 11 or 12 when the first season was out. And the first episode I saw was when Colleen Haskell got voted off. And I was addicted to it since. So I always wanted to play it. I've seen every season, Since joining ATF, I'm much less of a super fan, though. They've trained me well.
When you experience, especially being a contestant too, and seeing the reactions of super fans of even being a contestant, I'm sure we've all been exposed to why not to be too passionately a fan.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Passionate. That's a positive word.
Yeah. Passionate is too positive. I think we're all passionate. We're all super passionate.
Well, it used to be, and then I watched your gameplay, and I'm like, ooh, rough.
Oh, I know. We'll get there. We have a lot.
We'll get there.
I have so much crow to eat tonight, and I'm so ready for it.
Yep, so, we wore your Thanksgiving pants.
So
big fan of Survivor, and you have a summer free. And you of course live in Washington, and so you come down for the weekend to get started with Survivor Washington. Did you do any prep or anything beforehand?
He did. He did. It's not even a question.
No, I didn't do any prep at all.
Bullshit.
I really didn't. Like I thought about my weaknesses the night before, and that's about it. And I was like, don't do that, just chill out.
And so what specifically
that didn't really work out. Huh?
Okay. And so what specifically were you like, don't do blank?
Well, in my Meet the Cast video, I talk about like trusting too much and that I'm not subtle.
Really?
See, at least I have some self-awareness, because that didn't really happen in the game either. But
you could trade some of that in for some subtlety.
Yeah, the thing is, like, this game is all about it's a game of contradictions. Like I said in my Meet the Cast video that like I am in tune with the subtle dynamics of socializing, which is true, but like myself in these social dynamics, I'm like all over the place. Like I'm very obvious, I'm very vulnerable, I'm open, I'm expressive, and so yeah, I'm not subtle, and I can't lie, and I was just kind of made a fool of myself a few times.
Just a couple.
Yeah. But it was fun to watch though, right?
Hashtag
it was something.
It was
comes in both at the same time from Connor and Kaya.
Oh, they're so precious.
Oh, they're here?
They're just like those, like the sea otters that like hook hands so they don't float away from each other when they sleep.
Oh. Hey guys.
Okay, so
glad you guys are here. So yeah, so I was like, I need to be calm, and I did my best to be calm, and like, I obviously lean on the more intense side. Obviously, that's no secret. And I wanted to just make sure that I was tapping into like all my musical training, which has
Excuse me?
That
Can't wait to see how you spin this one.
Well, okay, so being a classical musician, I've been playing the clarinet for 20 fucking years. Like, and I've been practicing it, 3 or 4 hours a day, and doing performances and taking auditions, and that requires a lot of discipline. It's sort of like being an athlete where you're training all the time, and like
a D1 athlete,
just like Emma. And she was my number one nemesis.
Yeah. So did you use that training to run faster than her and lap her?
I was thinking about this earlier. So in the episode 4 immunity challenge, where we're flipping over the damn cement blocks,
bloody knees,
pavers. They are
pavers
called a paver.
Sorry, Corey. Corey, like he got that one right. They're pavers.
I think it was Kitty.
Oh, it was Kitty who said it. Okay. And the last round was it was random, correct?
Yes.
You're the one who was fucking there.
I don't remember this shit.
2 rounds I think we had 2 rounds where it was random selection. So
it was like, okay, this is going to be a random thing. And I was like, I know they're going to he's going to call me. I think I was the 3rd strongest person. And I was like, I know, I just know it. And then, of course,
I'm 3rd chair. It's going to be me. It's always 3rd chair.
Third strongest, I guess, makes sense with Carmen because he got Wes and Sean maybe above Emma.
I don't remember the order at all.
Yeah, I don't.
I just remember seeing Connor sitting out with his hoodie on.
Looking like a school shooter.
Oh yeah. The school shooter was born in this episode. So I tapped into that space where I'm like in an audition and it's like pressure time and the adrenaline is running. And you know, I beat her once.
Yeah,
I did. But then I couldn't pull it out the second time. I think, you know, she's
a D1 athlete.
She's a D1 athlete. There's nothing I could do about that. Like,
except for the first time.
Yeah, I actually don't even know how that happened the first time. Like, I watched it.
That you think she let you win?
She spent so much time flipping pavers in her track meets that it's like, how could you beat her? She's an expert at.
It's a big fat mystery. Like, how did a clarinet player beat a D1 track athlete?
It'll forever be a legend. It'll be a survivor.
I mean, to me, that's when you know, like, your team is throwing it. When the clarinet player is lapping the D1 track athlete in a running competition. There's your sign.
I just find it funny when Emma doesn't. She does well at everything, but like loses at anything.
Except for like,
it's like almost like Crystal Cox, like. Because you expect Emma to come in and like beast everything, but they're like carnival games.
No, Emma expected to come in and beast everything.
You know, when we rolled in with the 2 tribes at first, I think she was one of the first people to speak, and I was really taken aback because she just came out so strong, and I was like, oh, she's going to be the first one out.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that.
So what were your impressions? What were your impressions of everybody when you got there?
I didn't sleep a lot the night before, so I was very tired. And
like a kid on Christmas Eve.
Oh, exactly.
Jonesing. Gotta get out there.
I remember like you were splitting up the tribes, and like I just try to take things as they come, and not try to judge too much. I was intimidated by just like Seytu's physical presence, and he seemed very stoic, and I was like, okay, shit, like this guy's intense.
He's a big dude.
Then, not a great read on Seytu.
No, but I know it was
gentle giant.
Completely wrong. Like he's a beautiful soul on the inside.
Yeah, it's like you gave a teddy bear bones and let it run around.
Yeah, so it was like really fascinating getting to know Seytu because physical presence is just completely different from like what's inside. So that I thought that was interesting, and then I was really happy to see like Kitty on my team because I just got really good vibes from her. And I remember thinking, okay, we got Niko, so he's like the nerdy guy with the glasses. Maybe I could work with him because, you know, who am I going to work with? Emma?
I'm a weirdo. You're a weirdo. Let's be weirdos together.
That's right. I remember seeing Kaya, and I was like, I thought, oh, she'll probably be the first boot. I'm sorry, Kaya. That was the first.
That backfired a little bit.
Because she's still in the game. No, that was just like I'm just telling you guys my initial, just straight up, just
you're basically telling us that you're shit at first impressions.
And I'll be honest too.
I know, right?
Like when Kaya got to my house for the her Meet the Cast interview, I was even like, yeah, Kaya's out first.
But then like it's so interesting like how things evolve so quickly, because like we got to camp and like I remember we got there and we were chummy. It was a chummy camp. It was a little wild. Like it was just, we were the weirdos for sure. And it was quirky, and you know, there's a lot of laughing, and we put the tents together, and I really enjoyed our tribe. It was fun. But I remember we were sitting like, you know, like semicircle around camp or something, and Niko was just going on and on about Dale Wentworth and his connection with Dale Wentworth. And then this is
whoa, don't bury the lead there. What the fuck?
Yeah,
And
they're
it
like
was
best buddies.
yeah, they're somehow connected, and like it was
Such a random connection.
it was a revelation. And so we're all listening to him.
That's all you got on that? That's it? Okay, cool.
I can't remember the whole story. I tuned it out, man. But
What the fuck?
Oh.
That's what you tune out? Are you shitting
because
me?
I was so enamored by Kaya's eye roll.
I mean, yeah, but multitask. Jesus. Yeah. Maybe you should have learned to play a second instrument.
I actually can play a second.
Oh, but you can't listen to 2 goddamn stories. Got it.
I know. I know I have a lot of work to do. I learned a lot about myself. I'm working on it. But Kaya's eye roll, she won me over. I was like, okay, she's sassy and she's funny. She knows what's going on. She's perceptive. And like we had this like rapport that we just didn't really have to speak to each other that often. Like we just read each other really well from that point on.
And it's interesting you say that, because that's how Lindsay and Kaya got aligned too, as she said in the first episode, is they just made an eye contact with each other and were instant like.
Yeah, I think that Lindsay was more aggressive than me in like establishing, okay, we're a solid 2 right now. That is a regret of mine in the game, is that I wasn't assertive enough with that kind of thing. Where I was like, okay, we are like, I made a deal with Kitty that was on tape, but like, I really wish I had been stronger with Kaya at that point. But like we had this rapport going, and I was on her side the whole time.
Up until the point where you weren't.
Right. We'll get there. Chronological order, right?
But so to basically establish, and then you also had Corey. You had the ins in terms of connecting with other people and being
like, what do you mean connecting with other people?
Like you said, as Lindsay was more aggressive in establishing, hey, we're 2 in numbers, you were there more subtly. Like you were explaining in your pregame.
Exactly. I was doing a more subtle game because I didn't want to be the mastermind. I wanted to ride the middle. I wanted to like be your number 2, your number 3, always be in the mix, because I wanted to pace it out, because it's over and over again you see people flame out, and I just didn't want to be like an overly a flamer. Well, I am a flamer by nature, so there's nothing I can do about that. But I just wanted to pace it out and just be loyal. And, you know, I didn't want to go pre-merge. So I didn't want to do anything, you know, crazy. And so I rode the middle, and I had a good relationship with everybody. And that was my goal, was to just establish like good connections with everybody. And it was easy on our tribe because everybody like had a fun personality. And like watching the first episode and seeing like all of us just like strategize was hysterical. Like just how it was just like a bunch of ants running around or something.
I mean, the strategy was this guy pees a lot.
Okay, so
that's a real deep strategy.
Info on that.
What'd you say, Hunter?
Dig deep.
Give us some inside info on the Niko peeing sessions.
I mean, let's be specific, strategy-wise. I don't need to know about his stream.
They happened a lot. Every
this guy's got a prostate problem.
Yeah,
shocked.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like he had the idea in his head that if you went to that the pee area or the well, you had to bring someone with you. And I think that was a rule, Hunter.
And okay, to clarify this really quick, and I didn't change it because I kind of like the idea. The well was a rule. If you were going to the well, you had to bring one other person. The bathroom, you didn't have to bring anybody.
What was the point of that?
I think that because in the first season, nobody would go off and strategize because there wasn't any excuse to leave camp. And you could see it in Carbonado is that everybody stood in one place because once one person went somewhere, everybody else goes because you don't want to be left out. And so basically it just encourages people to have some sort of strategy as an excuse. So then people would go to the bathroom together, and it worked. So I'm happy with that. But the point, the water well was in there for sure. So I was like, I want that to be a thing. Somebody at some point.
How do you hunt for the idol then? If you're not going to get water and you're not going to the bathroom, what's your excuse? Where the fuck are you going?
Area.
Yeah.
You get a certain amount of time at the end of every confessional to look for the idol.
That's right.
It's so people have an excuse to. They have time to. Rather than
everyone knows everyone's got like
a minute or two.
Yeah.
So I think what Niko did was he associated that rule with the well or the bathroom. So
yes.
So he was going with everybody every time someone went. He volunteered.
You're playing girl rules. You can't go to the bathroom alone.
And there was one point I remember, we were noticing a pattern, and like there was just one time I just wanted to test it out just to see like if he would just fall into the trap too with me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and Niko's like, he immediately jumps up, and I'm like, oh my god, this can't be real. So it just, and like I remember looking at Kitty, and like it was a group decision. It was unanimous. I don't give anyone in particular credit for Niko leaving. It was like an easy decision after that. Like, cause there's that shot where we're all sitting there talking, and like, that was when we made the decision. And like, that was pretty much it. Kaya, can you vouch?
I'm getting like nostalgia right now. Thinking about not about the episode, but like the timing out there, because it's like that period of time where everybody's trying to figure things out, but everybody at the same time is so excited they're playing Survivor,
right? And that energy was in the group. Like everybody was excited to be there.
Did that last? Did that last the entire first day at Wilkerson?
No, that died down like really quick because we kept losing.
Yeah,
and it sucked to like keep losing. Obviously it just sucks to lose, and so it became like more serious as we kept losing because we had to keep getting rid of people. So the fun and like, you first go to Disneyland when you're a kid, like that went away real quick. Because people started getting serious and people were making decisions. And so then Niko win, and then the Corey vote for Lindsay was a giant surprise. That came out of nowhere. And so what's next? Are we clear on Niko?
We're clear on Niko. Let's move on.
Yeah, I just really want to know about his tea breaks. And that pretty.
Specifically, let's talk about the Kaya vote, because
we'll just skip right ahead.
You mean the Sheree vote?
The supposed Kaya vote with where Sheree went home.
Okay, so
where Lindsay flipped it.
From my perspective, I was never voting out Kaya in that tribal council. Never. I know that Kitty and I did. We were a pair, and we were strategizing together. And Kitty wanted Kaya out at that point, and we were talking.
So you're not a pair.
What? Sorry, what?
So if you didn't want to vote her out and Kitty did, so then how are you a pair?
I know, like Kitty and I disagreed on most of those decisions. And
it's a good alliance. Went really far.
I will refute that, because if they were able to work it out and vote together at the end, I'd still consider that a pair.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, that's just you discuss things. Like, you have discussions, like you consider your options when you're strategizing. Like, it's okay to disagree, and then like, I mean, that's part of the whole social dynamic of like, influencing other people, is like you
Unless you're Corey.
That, oh my God. Well, Corey, oh man. I love him though. He's great.
It's interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot to dissect there. So I remember like a funny moment, Hunter, I think you explained it really well in Corey's exit interview that the strategy at our camp was nuts. Like alliances were constantly shifting, and the only, I remember you listed like some pairs and trios. The only one that you didn't list was me, Kaya, and Lindsay, and I was loyal to them at that point, and like I didn't realize that Kitty was so close to Corey. Like, I didn't realize that Corey was her number 2 at that point. I thought that we were a pair. And, like...
Solid alliance.
Yeah. And, I mean, I was never... Like I said before, like, I was never acquiescent with her. Like, we were always having discussions and always coming to decisions together. And I remember in the tribal council... where Sheree went home, I was sitting next to Kaya, and I love these moments with her. She like turned to me and she's like, "Why are you voting for me?" And I look at her and I'm like, "Kaya,
during tribal council?"
Yeah, during tribal council. Yeah.
Oh dang! This is why I need to mic the contestants in tribal, individual mic packs for everybody.
Yeah, they're like 20.
Yeah, there was a lot of chit chatting, and like, just to backtrack just a little bit, like Niko was sitting next to me and like saying shit to me too. So it's, and then Corey did the same thing. So everybody's like was talking to me at those tribal councils. I just thought it was really funny, but
kind of sounds like you're a little shifty and they weren't sure what you're about to do.
Everybody's worried.
Yeah, Niko was worried. Yeah, and then Kaya had a good read on me. Like I couldn't hide anything from her. So like she could read me like a book. So she said, "Why are you voting for me?" I was like, "Kaya, let me prove it to you right now." And so I was told that because I didn't know about the idol. I did not know she had the idol because I didn't realize that Lindsay and her were that strong. And I didn't know that Kaya had the idol. And Kaya has an idol, which is like my favorite line of the whole. She had an idol. So she was going to play it, but she told me that she was later on that she was convinced by like what I told her in the tribal council. I think that this is correct. Kaya, you can vouch for this. Like that she read me and she didn't play her idol. So then Sheree went home. Yeah.
So after that vote, you guys go back. Just talk about the feeling of losing 3 challenges in a row.
So,
because you definitely you were one of the most impacted by that and driving that emotion force with it. I know everybody was super concerned because you're so upset at camp.
Yeah, I really got into it. Like I was having fun out there. Like I got passionate about it and. I wanted to win, and I just don't like losing because I'm competitive as a musician. Like it's for auditions and stuff and competitions. Like I have that competitive streak, and so I've also played sports before. Believe it or not, Marissa.
Look, let's clarify these sports because I feel like some of them you're about to list do not count. Show choir is not a sport.
I never sang in choir.
Glee club is
no. I was never in Glee club.
Competitive Shakespeare, not a sport.
I was not in competitive Shakespeare either. I was a band geek. You could say that.
Yes, I'm still not hearing any sports.
So cross country and track. Okay.
That's how
so you are a runner. Look, this is a little surprising.
Now it's all coming together. We're all figuring this shit out. Yeah.
I mean, it caught me a little off guard because I mean you don't have the sprinter body, but now it makes sense why you lapped her. You've got that background. You have those skills, that muscle memory, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, Stefan, I don't know if you're reading the chat. Kaya confirms that you are correct.
Awesome, thank you, Kaya. So what were we talking about?
Your sprinter body.
It's not a sprinter body.
Your competitive
anymore.
spirit. You don't like losing.
Yeah. So that's just I just get into shit. Like I get passionate about stuff, and you know
do you sometimes get a little too competitive, a little too into things?
Duh.
Look at his knees. His knees from the challenge.
Oh yeah. So the grass was slippery as fuck.
Yeah, that's how grass works.
It was so slippery though. Like, and I kept slipping. It was like extra slippery. And I just kept slipping in the last round. So I just ended up just diving because I could not get up. So I just like my knees got all fucked up because I just dived everywhere. Dove everywhere.
Your knees were not prepared for that? You haven't spent enough time on your knees?
Well, clearly not, because they bled immediately. So no, I'm not trained down there.
That's future contestants. Make sure you
spend a little time on your knees.
Put a cheese grater on your knees in order to beat the future D1 athlete contestants.
And so, like
every season from here on out needs a D1 athlete.
We should.
FYI.
Trend at this point. A legacy.
I volunteer as tribute.
What does D1 even mean? What does
Division 1?
Division 1.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. See, isn't it great?
So
I know the band rooms are soundproof, but they're not under a rock.
Let's continue.
This is why we can be friends, Marissa. You can teach me things.
How difficult was the Corey vote for you?
That was not difficult at all for me. Was
it more difficult, or was it less difficult than Niko?
It was less difficult than Niko because Niko wanted to stay so bad.
Okay,
and so
Corey did as well.
I know, but so I found out, I think, from Kitty that he had formed this alliance of him, Seitu, Sheree, and Kitty and I forget the other person, but it was a 5-person alliance that did not include me. And Corey did not strategize with me at all the entire time. The one scene that was shown that was the only scene that like we actually talked was like I kind of half-assed said to him, "Oh, Corey, you seem like a great guy. I want to work with you."
Can you give some insight into Corey? Because I've had my own personal experiences with Corey post-show, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Like the last time he slid into my DMs, he said good night, and I looked at the timestamp, and it was 11:30 in the morning, and we're in the same time zone.
Corey's not a morning person, though.
That's true.
And this was after a night where he was like, "Yeah, I'm going out bar hopping with my dad." I'm like, "Okay, sir." Yeah, I don't know how to explain him as a person. I can only imagine what he's like out there. Did you touch his hair?
No, I didn't touch his hair.
Do you regret that?
No, I don't regret it. It's just he was just kind of hanging out. Like we didn't talk strategy. He seemed very chill about everything, which is fine. But that vote it really sealed his fate. Like I think he stood a better shot. But he was targeting Seitu and Kaya, and I was more loyal to them. I had better relationships with them, and I didn't realize that that Kitty and him were so tight until like much later. And there was a conversation, a really important conversation that was not shown. I'm not sure if it was even filmed between Kitty and I, where. Oh, okay. It was so dark and I was so tired. So, okay, before that conversation, Kitty and Corey talked. That was shown. While they were talking, I was talking to Seitu, Lindsay, and Kaya. And they were saying, hey, Kitty has Corey in his back pocket. We need to take Corey out. He's disloyal. He's shifty. We might swap soon. We can't trust him. And I wanted to protect Kitty at that point. So I told Kitty what they had said. And so at that point, we decided to vote out Corey instead of Seitu.
And it was easy.
So, and for me, it was an easy vote. Like I felt totally good with Lindsay, Kaya, and Seitu, and Kitty. Like as I always considered that like the 5. I mean, just from my perspective, like it was bonkers the whole time. So everyone has a different take on it. Yeah, that's how I saw. Like that's how I saw it. Like the 5 of us were were tight. It's just like the time. The biggest problem with this game was time. Like there's just not enough time.
And again, to anybody who wants to play,
that's how games work.
Have to listen. Well, this is a whole nother experience.
Look, there's like a shot clock, or there's a.
They don't know. They can't tell the time though. They can't tell when their next challenge is.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're on the field, you know how much time's left. I mean, you can kind of guess, but
but you can. Well, yeah, no. What are you talking about? There's scoreboards and stuff.
I don't know. You can always see them. Look,
Marissa,
pressure. You know, there's no the time's coming up. Move it or lose it. Put a little hustle in the bustle.
No,
that's on them.
I think that there are two schools of thought with this kind of fast-paced game. The first school of thought, in my opinion, is like, okay, just trust your gut, go, don't think about anything. And that can be good, but that can also be really bad if you don't have any time to be thorough and like think things through and like maybe have a second conversation, like maybe a half an hour later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is where a lot of the contestants so far that have been voted out have actually gone wrong, is taking the not taking the initiative to fix something last second or run through and try to change. Like, for example, I mean, you could actually see that in the other way, is when Lindsay takes, in essence, with the exception of you, since you had no intentions of voting out Kaya, the others that were planning on voting out Kaya,
right,
running around and getting those fixed up, it's all about time. And if you take those two, it's a matter of seconds between differences.
Right. And I was told by just someone that had played one of these games before, it's like, just don't try to change things up too much. Like, if there's a plan, just do it. So
yeah, that was the thing. Like, Corey's like, yeah, I've like won these before. I go pretty far. So I was like, so what was your strategy going into this game? Like, he's like, I was gonna change it. I'm like, why would you change things up? Like, I could see if you're like, yeah, I've lost like 8 of these in a row. I think we're trying something new this time. But if you've been winning, so it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Any powers thing though, I think is what he said, because he won twice, and then it's gone like down since then.
Well, he's done them too much, and I think that he was a little complacent, and he forgot that he was playing with a bunch of new people that were, you know, just doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
And it just, in that way, he didn't fit in strategically. Does that make sense?
Got to know your audience.
Okay, yeah. So I want to skip now. Let's go to the swap.
Oh,
you're
boy.
Swapping a tribe, and you're in a minority.
Yeah, this is where like I started playing sloppy.
Whoa! We're gonna slide over that dramatic reenactment.
That's post. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Oh, we'll get there, dude. You'll have plenty of opportunities to throw me under the bus. It
all blends together.
It's all a blur.
It's all on the same level.
I feel that. I felt that before editing. I don't remember how the episode tomorrow went down at all. And
oh yeah, they start talking about like who's on old carbs, new carbs. I'm like, I have no idea who was on what tribe at any point in time. Like, okay, I can kind of guess who was like together, but don't ask me tribe names.
We'll rehash. New Carbonado at this point is Wes, Sean, Erica, and Connor.
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, swap, not merge. I'm catching up.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So you get there, and what's the first night like? Or you're sleeping with a bunch of new people?
Oh my gosh, this was
just a classic Saturday night for Stefan.
Yeah, I know, right? So
we get Connor, Sean, and I, and Wes get in the tent, and Wes grills me for like an hour. And he interrogating you. Yeah, he put the fear of God into me, and I was so tired, and like my knees are bleeding, and we just lost 3 challenges, and then Wes is just, he is going for it, and I'm just like, what the fuck do I do right now? Do I answer his questions? Do I tell him to like? He's got like a single lamp in the tent and a long wooden table. And I was like, okay, this guy, this isn't going to work. Like it was very strong, and he just kept asking question after question. And like, I did a terrible job answering. But then like, then after we talked, like I couldn't fall asleep.
You're just, he so worked up by Wes.
Well, I was running scenarios through my head, and I was like,
you're like, I thought I was going to crawl into this tent. Someone might want to like snuggle up for warmth, and all of a sudden,
well, yeah,
I've come home to that relationship.
I'm in the boys' tent. You know, come on.
We know that. So we know that Kaya.
I've seen Ass Cam. I can see how you get your hopes up. It's fine. It's cool.
You know, hey, I've been to band camp, Marissa. That's a thing.
Kaya, this same time that all of this is going on, are you both just like freeze? Yeah, okay. I thought I'd cut out. You guys were both just frozen in expression. Kaya at the same time
the silence was deafening.
Talking to Connor, talking to who is she talking? Oh, she's talking to Connor.
Okay,
and
so
she's making deals and she's revealing information. What do you think about that? What did you make of that? Did you even hear about that?
Oh, that she made a deal with Connor?
Yeah.
I did not know about that deal. But just backtracking for a second, this is really, really important. So,
yeah, of course,
it's probably not.
It is. So I get up because, you know, it's early in the morning. Wes is still sleeping. And then I see Connor and Sean talking like by a tree together. I approach them. They're like, hey, wait a second. And I walk away and I come back and I was like, so, I mean, like, what's going on, guys? And they're like, we want a 3-2-1 Wes. And we talk a little bit, and then Sean walks away, and then Connor and I talk, and he's like, I want to take out Sean at some point because he's the mastermind. And I was completely shocked. I was like, what? Because like I have no idea what's going on. Obviously, have no idea what's going on at their camp. And it's like, I was just surprised that like, so like I just got worried for that because it's like it's just like all this new information, and then Wes is coming after me, so I was getting a little more paranoid at that point, and that's when I started playing sloppy.
Where would you say you started playing like the sloppiest? What were your sloppiest moves?
Like at the swap in particular, or just in general?
Yeah, like a teenager at homecoming. Just
yeah, it was weird. Like I think it was a combination of just like like I wasn't sleeping, so I
get that beauty rest.
It's really important, and you know, as someone that's like, you know, I'm kind of like
you're separated from your clarinet. You didn't get a personal item. You're just jonesing to get it in your mouth.
I don't have my reeds. I don't have my reed water container. These are very important things.
The fuck is a reed water container?
It's where you soak your reeds.
Maybe that's why I was breaking all of them. I don't think I ever did that.
Yeah, you got to soak the reed.
Oh, first. Yeah, no, definitely never did that.
Yeah, you got to do that, or you'll break them.
Oh, yeah, I broke all of them, all 27.
Yeah, you just got to dip it in water just a little bit.
What?
And you're good. Yeah. Oh. Connor knows.
Whoa.
So, whoa. Listen to our podcast. You will find out. So, okay. So Hunter, can you prompt me? That's like, cause like there's so much that happens at the swap. What would you like to know next?
Everything. That's why you're here.
I know. Ask a question.
Much as you want to talk about,
ask a question, please.
Okay. Yes. Let's go to the challenge itself, because you discussed with Lindsay plans. And it was explored a little bit in the show, but there was a lot of spoilerly content because it determined pretty much the next two boots. And I didn't want to spoil that, which is why it wasn't really covered a lot. But if you would like to talk about that and discuss what happened there, I think that's a pretty crucial piece of info. So
yeah, we're lined up at the same spot.
This is the episode 5 challenge, the shimmy the ball past the holes, where Stefan and Lindsay both were in the back of the challenge behind everybody else.
So she told me, she's like,
again, some of your finest acting.
Wait, which part are you referring to there?
Is that not the one where they had you talk to Lindsay about being the challenge?
No, that's the next challenge.
Oh yeah, that's the next one.
Which I was shocked by after your reenactment performance. They're like, yeah, let's have this guy be subtle and contact the other team.
I know. After I had just like ran into camp, flailing my arms like a banshee, like, oh my God, you guys. It was a fun moment though, and like, you know, they were all laughing, and it's a great little moment.
Something to show the grandkids.
Yeah, for sure. So Lindsay and I are talking, and she's like, "Get rid of Wes, save Kaya, and we're gonna throw the next challenge." And I sat on that information, and like I was so worried on our side. Like I wasn't sure if I was being lied to or not by Sean and Wes, because there was a conversation that Wes and I had prior to the challenge where he's like, "Hey, you know what? You have a chance. Like, there's a possibility that you could stay, and perhaps like the next round we can take out Erica." And that's exactly what he said, and that was not a lie. And that's what I told Erica that at that one scene you guys saw. So I sat on this information, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. And I was very stressed and a little overstimulated, and I just sort of like forgot about it because I was worried about saving my own ass at this point because I was in deep shit. So after the challenge, we go back to camp. Oh, I really wish this was shown. So Kaya, if you're still here, vouch for me on this one. We get back to camp. Kaya and I sit on a log, and the rest of Carbonado is like standing up, and Wes comes up to us and he goes, "So it's one of you two tonight or today."
Oh, okay.
And he looks at me because like I know it's me. Like they're coming after me. I get it. So he's like, and he looks at me. He's like, "So you can either you can talk to us as a group, or you can have individual conversations." And so I'm like, I'll have individual conversations. And so that's when I take Erica out there and have that conversation with her, because I hadn't really bonded with her strategically yet. And we did have a good rapport, and like there was some downtime at Carbonado where we were all hanging out talking, and like that's where I was like really trying to ingratiate myself socially and like just like shoot the shit. And I think during that time I don't know for sure, but Eric and I don't know how she felt about me, but like I felt we established like a good bond. So I felt comfortable going to her and saying like, "This is what Wes is saying. Let's take him out together. It's in your best interest. You should keep me." And so, yeah.
And so the Wes boot just in general, we kind of touched on at the beginning of the episode, but the anxiety-inducing moments, trying to act your way to safety, the fear of the idol. Is there anything else in that time period during that boot that's of significant note that you want to talk about?
I would like to say that I agree with what Sean said in his exit interview, that a lot of that was him. Like if Sean wanted me gone, I was out. And I think because he was so closely tied with Wes, and Sean had the power in that situation to make that move. And he said he regrets it. And I mean from a game point I get it. Like it's totally fine. It's just he had a lot of power. But the thing is though, it was a team effort. Like we all tried our best, and like
of course.
And Connor was a much better actor than me. There was
bar was set low.
Well, yeah, so there's nowhere to go but up, right?
Hey, Connor finally won something.
Hey.
So there was a scene that wasn't shown with Dear Connor that he cried to Wes about voting me out. And
Hunter, confirm this.
I did not see this. Was this filmed?
I don't know.
Obviously not.
Yeah, this would have been that would have been huge.
I'm gonna need a second party to verify this.
I want to see those tears. And so
look, we've seen enough tears this season, Stefan.
Yes, we have.
Yes. My favorite was like the tears on the way back from the challenge. You're like, I don't even care if I get sent home. I don't even care about this game. I'm like, really? Really, sir?
I know. It's just like I care too much. Way too much. Yeah.
Yes.
I overcare.
A little bit.
I'm working on it. Can you be my coach, Marissa, please?
Oh, I can teach you how to not care all day long.
Good. I need that. So I'm having a hard time remembering like exactly when the events happened because I'm not sure when Kaya told me about her idol. And then I know that I told Connor about the idol and I told Sean about the idol at some point. And I did that because I knew that I was in deep crap and I knew that Sean was potentially targeting me. And so I just used that information to get some trust from him. And it sucks. It was sloppy. And I really wish I hadn't done that because what I should have done was establish like a solid 3 with Connor and Kai at that point, like strategically, like we are the power 3 in this tribe and we're going to move forward and then not tell Sean about the idol. And that's like a regret I have. And that was to answer your question, Marissa, that was a super sloppy move because obviously we see that it plays a huge part in like how like the girls lost trust in me and I had to get my way back in and it somehow worked and I'm not quite sure how it worked, but then it didn't work. What?
Me? Or Marissa?
Marissa, she's squinting at me.
Just taking it all in.
Okay,
so I'll explain it. Let's just keep going in order.
Let's over episode 6. Is there anything that's huge? Do you want to talk about anything big?
Look, okay. I'm gonna need a better explanation than just numbers. Episode 6. Can I at least get a boot?
The Brett boot episode.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where I have the revelation, and I tell the tribe what Lindsay told me that like, hey, they're gonna throw the next challenge for us.
Dramatic reenactment.
Yeah, and that was my dramatic reenactment. And I mean, if you guys listen, like everybody's laughing, and like it was pretty obvious that it was. Yeah, it was funny, and
yeah, I agree. I enjoyed that scene thoroughly.
So
now it was a dramatic reenactment, but how dramatic was the original?
Yeah, what was the original like?
I remember we were walking, I think, from a challenge. Like I call it like the desert area, like outside of Carbonado, like between the outhouse and camp. And
waste.
Yeah. And so I had the revelation and then like I ran over to Connor and Sean, like flapping my arms. And I was like, oh my God, you guys. But the Jack didn't catch it on camera. And he was like, oh my God. Jack. He was like, oh my God, that was so funny. Can we please, like, can you do that again? So then we filmed it again.
So that doesn't answer my question. How much more dramatic was the original?
I think the original, okay, the second time was like forced. Okay, that's clear. The first time was like supernatural and like I was so like into it. It was really sincere. I think I can't judge my performance. Like I need to look at the peanut gallery for that one. I just remember having this revelation and it needed to be said right then and there. Because I felt so stupid. I couldn't believe that I had withheld that and didn't say anything because that's kind of huge. But you know, the information came out, whatever. So, and I didn't care like what happened. If we had an opportunity to stay safe, I wanted to protect Sean, Connor, Kaya, and Erica. Like I didn't want us to go to tribal council again because the thing with the game in general is that you cannot predict anything and it's really easy to be hindsight is 2020 and you can't assume anything. So if we can stay safe, we're going to stay safe. And I didn't,
that's how safety works.
Yeah, exactly. So fine. Throw the challenge. Like, I don't want to get rid of, cause I was
staying safe.
For them to throw the challenge means we win, which means we get immunity, which means we are safe from going to tribal council. Yeah. So we went through with the plan and that's that.
Okay. So let's go to the merge. You did the merge feast.
Can you tell me what type of variety was available at this merge feast? Give me the entree list.
Hot dogs.
What was provided for you at said feast?
Hot dogs, Hershey, chocolate, graham crackers, marshmallows.
Trying to verify the integrity of the making sure my contestants are well fed, not violating any laws, Marissa.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's the opposite of what I want to happen, but that's cool. I'm still mad you didn't use Rice Krispies and use fucking Cheerios.
I am upset about that too. You've enlightened me on that for sure. That's a regret that I have.
It's on you, man.
So
it's the obvious choice.
The merge, is there any doubt in your mind that there, or is there any sense that you have of All Girls Alliance? Like, were you sketched out at all with your original Wilkeson? And who did you want to work with going right into the merge? Who were you ready to get back and see? Is it Kitty?
Yes, I wanted to reconnect with, my plan was like, I wanted to reconnect with old Wilkeson to see what was going on, and then try to, there was too much going on. Like I had good relationships with everybody from Wilkeson, so I was trying to figure out where everybody's head was at, and things just got really weird and shuffled, and all of a sudden, like, I wasn't hearing from Erica anymore, and then like there were very little conversations going on at camp, and I did not realize that I did know that there was a Girls Alliance. I can't remember who tipped me off with that, because I did say it in a confessional. It just seemed like, as I said, it seemed like all the girls got together and they voted out Brett, and there was a vibe. There was a weird vibe, and I had no idea what to do because no one was talking to me, and I think it's because of the idol reveal, because that really severed my trust with the girls for a bit. And if Sean had won immunity, I'm
pretty sure at that point the weird vibe was you had a dick, therefore you were not with the in crowd. Right.
Thank you for articulating it that way. Yes, it was an all girls alliance, and I was just on the chopping block, and I remember a funny moment where like Connor and I are sitting in camp together, and I'm just like sitting there like playing with grass or something, and he goes, "Oh man, I think I'm on the chopping block." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And like we look at the well, and all the girls are just huddled up, and I was like, "Are you sure that they would go after you first over me? Because I feel like they would go after me first because I'm a mess and I revealed the idol." So I remember Connor had his hood on, and we're just like trying to figure out
assassin hood.
Yes,
very Unabomber chic.
It's like it's Jedi Knight too. You know, he's got the voice going on, and he was like my Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he was like, go talk to the girls. It was so funny. So like I went and talked. I ran down. I didn't run down, but like I shuffled to the well. And there was this vibe. It's just, I knew shit was going down. I didn't know exactly what. I knew the girls were together, but I didn't know who the target was. And I go up to the well, and they're like, "So we're going to take out Connor." And I was like, "Why are we going to take out Connor, you guys?" Because so I thought I was just with them because I worked with Lindsay through the swap, and we were working together, so I thought we were cool. And in Wilkeson, like, we were cohesive, like all of us were. So I had this idea that like maybe old Wilkeson would get back together. So I talked to them, and I'm like, "Why are we going to take out Connor? That doesn't make any sense." And like, obviously Connor's the decoy. I'm the one leaving at this point, and I don't know it. And I say, "Why don't we get rid of Emma? She's socially savvy. She's athletic."
Excuse me.
I know.
She's but
she's influential. Like, I mean,
the next episode, it shows that Emma is socially pretty
not retarded.
Talented.
Well, I mean, she's got the air horn and
voice.
6. Yeah, but the way that she got Molly out was masterful in my mind. She really got the votes to get Molly out in the first episode. Like, she's influential. Like,
yeah, I gotta agree with that there. Just from a perspective, I'm not completely personal relations aside. It's pretty impressive the amount of trust people give to Emma. People are very trusting of Emma.
Put your Emma boner away. Okay, you had enough of it this season. Just put it away.
Cheers. Yeah. But she like, you know, if you're in this stressful situation and you got one loud, confident voice, it's really easy to just kind of go along with that. So you know, she's good at that. Like I could not do what Emma does. Like I can't just like stand in front of a group and, you know, we're going to get this person out, everybody. Like she doesn't have the subtle game in that way. So, and then all of these things are happening that I'm not aware of. Like I did not realize that there was a vote flip to save me with Kitty. I did not realize that I was perceived as a goat. I still don't know why. Maybe it's probably the idol trust thing. So, but I knew that, like, I knew I was on the bottom, and I was just trying to find every opportunity to ingratiate myself back somehow. And there was a scene shown where we're all laughing together. Kaya, Lindsay, Connor, and Seitu, where Seitu's like on the ground. And I remember like approaching Kaya and Lindsay because I think they were scheming about something. So I wanted to diffuse the situation. So I went up there and I jokingly went up to them and was like, "Are you guys blindsiding me right now?" And like, just, it was a joke. And then that led to the whole like laughing and like, I don't know if that was part of the conversation because I don't know what happened, you guys. Like I don't understand how like all the girls got back together to save me, you know, at that point, because I did have 5 votes to stay. Okay. Yeah. So the votes were there. So I somehow got back in the good graces of Kaya. And like, I really was trying to like redeem myself to her. And that was partly like why Sean went as well.
So getting voted out at that tribal, when you see the Emma votes come up and you realize that, you know, she figured it out. Did you think that they'd still vote for you?
Okay, so I was tipped off from Kitty at one point that I was the target. And then I remember like we're in line for tribal and like I'm looking at Kaya, we're like, you know, doing our, you know, our like telepathy or whatever. And she's like, "I think it's going to be okay." And so I thought at that point that it was going to be 5 votes Emma, 4 votes for me. That's what I thought going in, because I knew the vote breakdown because I was tipped. I was told. So I was confident going into that tribal council. Obviously, I had no freaking idea that Emma had the idol. Like, how can you know if someone has an idol if they don't tell you or if someone tells you?
Yeah.
And my read on the situation was like I almost had it right, but it was definitely not a Cold War. Like that was the wrong analogy. And it was more of just a mess.
From your perception at the time, can you elaborate on the comments you made?
So I just remember sitting there, like I was nervous, but I was also confident at the same time. Like I know it's like it's an annoying contradiction, but it's I felt like I had the numbers, and so I felt confident enough to just like kind of just lay something down. And there's also an element like I'm aware that I'm being filmed. And listen, I come from a family of journalists. I've been performing music for 20 years. There's definitely an element of drama in the way that
is there? Really?
Good. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Look, you're like if a community theater took human form.
I know.
That's how I would explain it.
I mean, don't you think I have potential though?
For community theater?
Or just acting in general?
In community theater?
You can get in there.
I could do community theater. Like I would fit right in, but like maybe I could like pursue this. What do you think?
I'd say
you and Heather team it up. She could be your
okay, she'll be my coach.
Your coach.
Marissa,
yeah,
can you guys coach?
Maybe don't quit your day job.
It's funny because we've been talking about clarinet, but I actually don't play the clarinet anymore.
Excuse me?
Yeah. I'm changing career paths.
What?
What are you planning on doing?
So I meant to say this in the beginning. So we're kind of like going.
It seems like you kind of wasted a bunch of time then. I don't know. It seems like a lot of time in your life dedicated to
except for the
clarinets.
His skills honed into being able to beat D1 athlete Amabaki. His life led him to that point. That's the
did you
victory.
beat a D1 athlete and then you realize you need to make a career change to athletic things? Or
Definitely, that was the turning point.
Oh, Jesus.
So I finished school in May, and I've been in school forever.
Yeah, immediately decided to change career paths.
Well, I mean, I know it's kind of hard to understand. I understand like your confusion. It's just I have been in denial for a while about my passion for music, but
being a clarinet player.
Yeah, and like I've been trudging along, and I haven't.
You kind of want to explore and experiment with other things other than clarinet.
Well, I've always wanted to be a therapist, and I believe that that is my passion in life, and I want to pursue that. And that's a really, really long story, just cut into like a sentence, but there is a lot to it, and it's a recent change, obviously, and I feel very settled in this decision, and I know that I would be a great therapist because I've been through a lot of.
You understand drama.
I understand drama because of course, and I'm very passionate about mental health, and I've been through some mental health problems myself. And I've always wanted to, one of my life goals is to break down stigma with it. And I think that mental health is on the rise, and I think it's much needed right now. And I think that I could pursue a career in it and be an even better therapist than I could a musician at this point.
Right on. And so I personally wish you luck in your endeavor. I'm sure you'll do well.
Unfortunately, it requires 2 more years of school, but
hey,
that's it.
Hey, you got to be better at it than you are acting. So mazel.
Exactly. Like you're so right. Like I don't know what to say.
So okay, Stefan, wrapping things up because I got to get going here again.
Okay.
But,
why do you suddenly have all these fucking plans, Hunter?
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't it crazy?
You have a social life on a Saturday night. You don't want to talk about Survivor.
But I still want to talk to you because I know that you've asked this pretty much every episode.
We're going to hang out with Lindsay?
I will ask you this because you are not asking questions this episode. What was your favorite unaired moment?
My favorite unaired. Oh, yes, I have one. So at Wilkeson, we were playing cornhole, and Kitty and I were doing just like a one-on-one thing. And so I thought you had to land the sticks on the sticks and not in the holes. And
oh no, you gotta get in the hole for it to count.
I know. I don't know where I came up with this. And then so I was trying to aim at the sticks, which were the rims of oh god, this is going downhill.
You were just rimming them.
So like we finally realized, I was like, oh, why am I not getting it? I don't understand. She's like, well, why are you aiming for the edges? And I'm like, isn't that what we're supposed to do? She's like, no, that's not. And then we just rolled on the floor, just laughing. We laughed so hard. I really wish that was aired because that was like a really fun moment for Kitty and I. So
you were just rimming it, and you got to do a little more.
But I like I said in my final words, like I had a freaking amazing time, and it was so fun. And I didn't think I would make it as far as I did, and it's not even that far. Like I'm glad I made the jury. So
yeah, hey, you're in every episode from this point on. So
and you all can look forward to some jury sass from me. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you both for sticking with us for another episode of Out of Orting. Stefan will be with us for the rest of the season on the jury. You'll be able to see him each Sunday night. And hey, again, tomorrow night is an amazing episode. It's an all nighttime episode, which is unique.
Recap is going to be Tuesday.
Recap is switching to Tuesdays now.
No, just this week.
Just this week?
Yes.
I
I think it was
thought Jaden rearranged his work schedule.
We may have moved it to Tuesday permanently, but at least this week is going to be
Tuesday this week. Join for the recap show.
No, just clear your schedule like I have for this. Yeah. Just be available whenever.
We'll
be here. There will be content.
Depending on, I have not actually spoken with this week's vote out yet. I believe that Monday will be the Iggs interview, as far as I know.
Oh yeah.
And
good to know.
So we will see you then. Join us tomorrow night, 5 p.m. PST, for Survivor Washington Orting. And the episode title is Girl Scout at Heart. So exciting episode ahead. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you soon.
Cheers.